It's a book for grade 2, and I hope you are happy to learn today. Of course, me too. I am happy to have you listen and pay attention while the lesson goes on. So quickly, what are we going to do today? But before we jump into that, how many of you still remember what we discussed in our last lesson? How many of you? Let me see your hand up if you remember. Okay, for those of us that did not remember, I'll refresh your memories now. Last class, we talked about health, safety, and ethics. That was what we talked about. So today we are going to continue with that same topic, continuation of that same topic. But there is a subtitle to today's continuation. So our topic for today, as I told you, is health, safety, and ethics. But we are looking at the continuation of it. We already did page 1, 2, 3 of this very topic. So we are going to continue from page 4 down to page 9. Okay? So now the subtitle is Risk in a Computer Laboratory. So we want to look at this very risk. We want to find out what could be the risk and what should we do, the precautionary measures we can take to prevent it. So we continue with the lesson. But now this is our lesson objective. So pay attention. This is what we want you to learn in the course of this very lesson. We want you to know the health risk, okay? Health risk existing in a computer laboratory. Yes, there are risks existing there, as we talked about in our previous lesson. Now here we have precautionary measures to take in a computer laboratory. Now, when you will notice that there is risk in the laboratory working with computer, then the next thing that you should think about too should be, what are the precautionary measures? What are the things we can do? That is what we mean. These precautionary measures means what we can do to keep safe. Okay? So don't let this grammar disturb you. It means what are the things we can do to keep safe in a very short time. Okay? So this is what we are going to continue, what we are going to look at today. So follow me. Let's see the vocabulary words for today. I call it the key words. Okay? These are the vocabulary words we are going to look at today. So we start from this: reflection, trailing, like trail. Now you're trailing, understand? Now this is electrical, laboratory, socket, switch, insert, sorry. Now socket and switch, what is the difference? There's not much difference actually, but then there is a little different, but they are similar. So these are the words I want you to get familiar with, because you will come across these words in the course of today's lesson. So the reason why we put out our keywords like this is because we want to help you with your spelling. We want to help you build your vocabularies. So if these are the words, you need to practice these words so that whenever you come across them, you will not just know how to spell, but you will equally know the meaning behind each word. Okay? So follow me. Now lesson starts proper. So please, I need your hands all to yourself, your feet to yourself, and just give me your ears. Okay? Hello? You remember absolute quietness. So now I need you to be quiet and just listen. Now this is our lesson proper. Now we're going to talk about safety. What should be done? Last class we talked about what should and what shouldn't be done. But today we are going to look at what should be done. Now this is the precautionary measures we talked about in our objectives. Remember I told you objectives means what you should learn or what you should know from the lesson. Okay? So now these are the things I want you to learn and know them. So whenever I ask a question in regards to this very lesson, you will be able to answer. So today we are going to look at what should be done while working in the computer, or while working on the computer in the laboratory. So ensure eye level with the top of the screen, your eye level. I will show you in the course of your book, in the book, you will see it there. Your eye level should be in the same with the screen. Should be on top of the screen, as you say here. Now, wrist must be a straight line. You see your wrist? It must be a straight line. Let me see your hands. Now, pretend, if you don't have a computer right now, or if you're not sitting by a computer, just pretend your arms is resting on a desk when you have your computer or your laptop in front of you. So your arms, your wrist must be straight up, okay? Not like this or like this. You're typing. No, it could be very, very risky. If you keep it like this, if you hang your hand for a long time, it will be painful, right? So we don't want you to experience that. That's why we are ensuring the safety of every student in the course of our computer class. Okay? So now we move on with what should be done. Keep head and back straight. Sit upright, like I say, sit up. You sit up. Your head up, then your back. Okay, like your chest out a little bit, not like this. As I told you before in our previous class, that when you type like this, before you know it, you are paving way for hunchback, and it's not good. Before you know it, your bones may start forming to that very posture you are taking. So that is what we don't want for our students, okay? So Miss Patience don't want you to have hunchback or experience such, you understand? So that is why we are trying as much as we can to prevent every risk that involves while working in the computer laboratory. Now the next one on this, what we should do is keep elbow close to the body. You see, your elbow close to the body, not like everything will be like this. Okay, see, your elbow will be a little bit close to the body so that when you type, it will not be that difficult for you. Because if it is not that close, you may find some difficulties and it could be painful. Alright, so this is what we mean by safety. You remember we say health is wealth. If you are not safe, how then can you work? If you are not safe, how then can you be in school? Or how then can you have how then can you practice what you are learning in the computer laboratory? So we want you, while you learn, you are equally safe. Remember, it is one of our priority, safety of the student. So follow me in this lesson. This is our book. Now, this is the activity we are going to do in our book, My Computer Book. Yes. Now, this is what we are going to talk about. We said that the subtitle is about precautionary measures, and here we talk about good sitting habits. Okay? So, in your book, you will come across this very page. So, I want you to know that if you can't read, never mind, I will read for you, okay? I see, okay? See if the system unit and the monitor are both plugged in and the switch is on. Now, this is socket, then this is the switch. That's why I said you cannot really take away the socket from the switch or the switch from the socket. So it's a little bit similar. It's different, but it's a little bit similar. So now this is the socket, and this is the socket, and this is the switch. Now, when you walk into the computer laboratory, before you start, ensure that the switch is plugged in, and that the socket is well plugged, and the switch is turned on. When you turn it on, then the computer can come up for you to have access to what you want to do. Now, the next thing you do you switch on the monitor. You switch on your monitor. Now, this is your monitor, and you know where you switch it on? Here. Okay, you switch on the monitor. For desktop, all computer comes from here. Their switch comes from here, but laptops, different. They have different places you can switch it on. Okay, so but for desktop, I think almost all that I've been using and I've been coming across and that we're using in our laboratories, we'll switch it on from here. So that is why we took this, so you can understand when Miss Patience is teaching. So this is what it is on. When all these things are clearly fixed or in position, then you will know that it is safe for you to work. Because if this is not properly fixed, and maybe you didn't check, maybe there could be a naked wire that if you want to do anything, maybe if the socket, the switch is not properly plugged in, and there's a naked wire and you want to go and switch it on, there could be another risk. So we don't want that, okay? We don't want that to happen. So before you go in, ensure that all these things, that is why we say precautionary measures, ensure that all these measures are put in check. Okay, so now we move to this very activity. Now, this is good sitting position. You will still come across this in your book. It is in your book. I'm sorry that the picture is a little bit dark, but I guess you can still read a little bit of it. Now, eye level with the top of the screen. That is what we read before the slide, right? You remember? Now, look at the eye level of. Now, this is the sitting position. This is how you should be seated. When I said, when you sit in your working on your computer, your eye level will meet with your screen, and then your sitting posture will be like a little bit chest out, your arms straight, and your wrist well positioned, so that when you type, it will be very easy for you. Now, see, wrist must be straight line with your. While you work on this, your wrist must be straight line, okay? Now, keep head and back straight. Like I said, you sit up, okay? You sit up. No need like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. You understand? There are different postures in classroom, but then this is the best way to see it while you're working on the computer. Now, I want to ask you, if you come to school and you're going to move into the computer laboratory with Miss Patience, are you going to sit this way or you're going to sit like this? I know a smart student, and I believe you are smart. I know you are smart rather. So, and I know you will do the right thing. You will follow the ethics of our school, ethics of our classroom rules, and ethics of the laboratory rules. Okay? Now we move on because we are gradually coming to the end of today's lesson. But before we leave, I want to tell you about how to switch off a computer and how to switch on a computer. I already showed you a little bit of it, but that was not that is how to turn on the monitor. Now this one is how to switch on. When you walk into the laboratory, what do you do first? After checking that the sockets, everything is well plugged in, then your computer, you check the monitor is on, then what do? You now come here. This is the start button. We'll call here start button. Did you hear me? This is what start button, okay? Now when you press on the start button, it will bring your computer will come up. And all these icons, depending on what your icon is in your system, the screen, some have fewer icons on the screen, some have too many icons, like I have in mine. So all these icons will pop up, and then you can select the file you want to work on. Now we move to this one. This is turning off your computer. How to switch on a computer, how to switch it off, sorry. If you want to switch off this computer, then you will come here. When you go here, it will bring up options here. It will bring options. Then you will come here and say shut down. This is about shutting down. Then you will shut your computer down, and then you will stand up, put your chair back to the table, and then you step out and you bid Miss Patience bye because the class has ended. Okay, before Miss Patience